Fetal congenital diaphragmatic hernia is a life threatening situation which is commonly seen in about 1 in 2500 live births. Normally, our thoracic organs, that is, two lungs and the heart, are separated from our abdomen by presence of a muscular tissue in between these two cavities called as diaphragm. But what happens in diaphragmatic hernia is that there is a defect in this muscular diaphragm which leads to herniation of the abdominal contents like stomach or liver into the chest, and they start occupying the space meant for the lungs. So during the fetal development, as the baby's lungs try to grow, there is an obstruction and these lungs cannot grow because there is a foreign body there, that's a foreign viscous, neither the stomach or a liver. This leads to a condition called as lung hypoplasia. When such a baby is born after birth, these babies cannot breathe because the lungs will not be able to expand because there is stomach or bowel or liver in it. This leads to failure of oxygenation of the body and leads to development of pulmonary hypertension. And both these situations are quite life threatening for the baby, and most of these babies will not survive further. For survival, these babies will require a surgical correction whereby emergency surgery needs to be done, and we need to close the defect and bring the bowel back into the abdominal cavity so that the lungs can expand. But this is a difficult surgery. Today, with the advent of good quality ultrasounds, majority of congenital diaphragmatic hernias can be picked up antenatally, and few of these babies who have got good prognosis can undergo a procedure before they are born. There are two different sets of procedures being done for congenital diaphragmatic hernia. One is called as exit procedure, another is called as FETO or fetoscopic tracheal occlusion. And which babies will undergo which type of procedure depends upon a complex calculation called as lung to head ratio, which is done using an ultrasound to decide whether what is the prognosis of this CDH. Is this baby prognostically a good baby or prognostically not so good baby? If the prognostically good baby, we can do exit procedure, and if the diaphragmatic hernia is severe, then some of these babies can undergo a fetoscopic tracheal occlusion where we try to place a balloon into the trachea using a fetoscopic approach. Today we will see something about exit procedure, exit also called as ex utero intrapartum treatment for congenital diaphragmatic hernia. Here we try to deliver the baby in a paralyzed state, and then we manage the baby subsequently using the surgical approaches as well as the ventilatory approaches. And in the subsequent video, I shall explain you how congenital diaphragmatic hernia is managed at our center. This is a case of left-sided diaphragmatic hernia with stomach in the thorax by the side of the heart. The heart is shifted to the right. This is left-sided congenital diaphragmatic hernia. The stomach is not seen in the abdomen, but it is in the thorax. The first step is to achieve fetal paralysis, and that is done by injecting atracurium. By an intramuscular route, a small needle is gone into the fetal thigh, and atracurium is injected so as to achieve fetal paralysis. By inducing fetal paralysis, babies do not suffer or babies do not have any problems because the oxygenation is done via maternal blood. Babies do not take any breath inside the womb. This fetal paralysis takes 3 to 5 minutes. The whole idea is to deliver the baby in a paralyzed state so as to facilitate its transition from prenatal life to postnatal life on a ventilator. The mother is given a deeper general anesthesia with isoflurane. This relaxes the uterus completely and avoids placental separation, which is very important. The baby is now delivered in a controlled fashion, taking care only to deliver the baby's head and not the baby's complete body, because if we deliver the baby completely, the placenta will separate. This baby is not making any attempts at respiration and is receiving another dose of paralytic agents. The attending neonatologist is Now putting the tube in the trachea. Since the baby is paralyzed, babies are not going to struggle against the intubation process and the intubation becomes easy. Baby is connected to an external source of oxygen. Air entry into lungs is checked. Now the baby is receiving oxygen from dual supply, one from the maternal circulation because the placenta is still intact, it is not separated, and second is via the external bag. This process takes about 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes. The airway is secured and now the baby will be completely delivered. The cord is clamped and baby is separated. The dose of anesthetic agents is reduced now so as to cause a good uterine contraction and placental separation. Baby is going on a portable ventilator to stabilize its parameters before the baby is shifted to the surgical side for subsequent management. We keep the baby on ventilatory support before surgery for about 24 to 36 hours. This time is needed to evaluate the baby completely, do additional investigations to rule out any additional issues, and then the baby will undergo surgery. At the time of surgery, since the diaphragm is relaxed, the surgery becomes very easy. The neonate at 4 months of age showing good developmental milestones, and at age of 1 year showing a good oxygenation, suggesting that the lungs have recovered and functionally doing well. Every fetus has a right to life. Not all fetal abnormalities need termination of pregnancy. For the babies, the right to life is a chance to be able to live and have possibility to grow, to develop and become adults. Technological advances combined with good understanding of the pathology and better clinical skills and care, these babies can see this world. We at Pristine are here to help you.